First item, public comment. There being no one here for that, we'll adjourn that part and move on to roll call.
Michael Picklesheimer,
Here.
Lau Lynch,
Still here.
Ben Blake, Carolyn Lester,
Present.
Ryan Maloney, John Murray, Matthew Taylor.
Here.
All right. Having established a quorum, we'll move on to the next item. Review and approve of the minutes from the last meeting.
Mr. Chairman, I move for approval of the minutes of the April 23rd, 2024 meeting.
Second.
All right, have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
I will abstain because I wasn't here.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Next is the appeal of a decision, determination, order, or notice of the building official. Mr. Jones.
Thank you, Chairman Picklesheimer. I'm going to give you, we have Ben Newman here joining us today. He's the planning director. And then we also have our staff attorney, Joseph Leonard. He's here joining us as well. I'm going to give you a very brief background on this property, and then I may turn it over to Joe to kind of give you fill in some more parts of this before I progress through the whole story. So, Mr. Ahmed, he started work at 311 Gaither Hill on a addition. He started work without permits. We drove by, we saw the work going on without permits, so we asked that he stop work until he come up to the city and apply for proper permitting. At that point, we were reviewing the merits of the case and the previous construction on the property, and potentially realized that he may be over his lot coverage allowed for that property. Mr. Newman and I discussed our options and what to do. At that point, that's when we made a determination that we needed to place a demo order on that property. But saying that, I may turn it over to Joe and kind of give you a little background on how we got here and maybe the future steps we need to take.
Thank you. So as I'm sure you know, the Construction Board of Appeals has the authority to oversee, hear appeals based on the chief building official's determination of the building codes, the noise ordinance, ADA provisions, and such. The Construction Board of Appeals does not have the authority to hear appeals to the building official's determination based on zoning matters. The proper body for that would be the Board of Zoning Appeals. So the authority of the Construction Board today would be based on the issuance of the demo. And the demo order provides as the reason that the premises were erected, altered, or occupied contrary to law. The premises were erected without the proper permits and was noticed, given the demolition notice pursuant to that. The ability to get a variance from the lot coverage requirements, again, would go before the BZA. Because the hardship was self-inflicted, it would not qualify as a hardship under the guidelines that the BZA would consider. And so there is a right of appeal to the BZA for the lot coverage issue. However, full disclosure, it's not something that they would, the hardship you would present as we have seen it is not something they would take under consideration. So it's not likely that it would be granted. Now again, you fully have the right to appeal to that board if you wish, but that's just the reality of that situation. So what we can do here today is we can consider whether or not the demo order was issued properly pursuant to the building official's understanding of the property maintenance codes. And I think more importantly, what this board, and again, within the wisdom of this board to decide as they choose, but I know the city would suggest, depending on what the applicant or the appellant wants to do, the board here could stay enforcement of the demolition order to give the applicant a chance to appeal to the BZA. If they choose to go that route. And so, was there anything that I missed there?
I think you're good.
Okay. And so I guess that would be the city's position, that the demo order was issued pursuant to the codes. I mean, I don't think there's gonna be an argument that a permit was obtained. But with that, I guess we would let the appellant have an opportunity to speak.
Okay, thank you guys so much. I will be speaking on behalf of my father today. So the whole permit issue, I wasn't with him when he came to apply for an issue for this building. And he does not speak English very well. So this whole time, when he came and told us, and the whole time I thought that we have a permit. He did show us like a permit for the bathrooms, but when we came and talked to you guys, they said that it was just a permit of all the bathrooms in the house. It was not for that specific new project. So it was all a misunderstanding. And as you can see in our records, we've been doing projects with permits. So the whole intention was not to go the illegal route. Because again, it did inflict on us. So the loss is on us at the end. So we would not want to spend thousands of monies on a project that we know that the city will know, like it's illegal, we can't hide from it. So the permit, the first thing I want to cover, the permit was completely a misunderstanding. He did not mean to issue or to do this whole project with no permits. The second thing is we did receive a letter to remove, we have two storage units in our backyard. We received a notice to remove them, so it will provide, I guess, more space for the new addition, and they are removed. They're currently not there, both storages are currently not in-house. They were completely removed. I don't know if that would affect the final decision at all, but we did receive a notice saying you have 25 days to make them disappear, and they're not there anymore. So yeah, we would just hope for a second chance. Again, he did not mean to not issue a permit. It was just a language barrier. He did not know. This whole time he thought he did have a permit, but we just didn't know, and he automatically started working on the project. But yeah, it was all a misunderstanding, and we did not want to go that illegal route at all.
And Mr. Chair, if I could also add, the two sheds that she's referring to were two sheds that were discovered on the property that were built without permits. If the removal of the two sheds puts them below the lot coverage, then of course they would be able to reapply for the permit without the variance, but I don't believe that's the case.
From my understanding of the survey that you guys have, I know Matt, you're probably familiar with that, but that little box over there basically breaks it down.
Right here.
I don't know if you guys want to share with Ms. Lester as well, but even once you remove the sheds, because they have done 2 previous additions to this property as well, like I said, with permits, they got proper permits for that. So they feel like they were aware of the process with their past experiences, but the removal of the shed based on those other additions, this addition would not be allowed due to the lot coverage.
They could shrink the size of the addition a little bit, maybe, and stay under that. What?
They may have a little bit left, maybe 140 square feet,
Yeah.
if that. I know in your y'all's packet, picture 10 and 11, on page 10, or page 11, that would be what was being constructed. 10, 11, 12, 13. We went out there this morning, actually, on page 15. And you can tell from 11 to 15, they cut the second story down. But again, it goes over lot coverage. It's not whether it's first or second story. That's not the issue. It's just the overall lot coverage. But like I said, page 15, that was taken this morning. We like I said, we asked them to stop work since no permits, other than they did dry it in. But other than that, they have ceased working.
So the demo order is only for this latest edition.
For the latest edition, yes, that was constructed with no permit.
But there were permits on the previous.
So, yeah, we can go, so page 1, they actually we'll go through it together, just so that way you guys are. So
We
page
did that
1
already, yeah. It grows and grows.
Yeah, so page 1, I was hoping to start from the back, but we'll start from the beginning. So
Okay.
page 1, it was where they remodeled the garage. They turned the garage into a living space. So page 2, that's an aerial photo from 2019. Obviously, there's no change from the property exterior-wise. Page 3, there's an addition from the left side of that property. On page 4, you can kind of see it where it extends back. That was permitted and completed. You can kind of see that on page 5. So I know I'm trying not to get too far ahead, but page 5, you see that first addition. All right, so page 6 is for a living room and sunroom. That's the permit for that, which you're seeing that on page 7. And then page 8 is a 2023 aerial, which reflects that living room addition off the center of the house. And you can kind of start to see the foundation going up, or the outline for the next edition. I think those are maybe the block or the brick in that 2023 ortho aerial. And then I guess page number 9 would be the letter that she spoke of, that planning and zoning sent for the storage sheds. So the storage sheds have since been removed, which we appreciate that, and taking action on that. And then we go back to page 10, that's the 2024, that's the latest aerial. You can see there where those storage sheds were placed in the drainage easement, but it sounds like that's since been taken care of. And then we're back again to the page 11, that's the most recent one, picture of the addition, which the demo notice was placed on that. That's kind of from 2019 on, the progress over the years of 311 Gaither Hill. I'd be happy to expand upon anything. If there's anything else I need to cover, Chairman Picklesheimer, Mr. Leonard,
Another question,
Yeah.
so as far as this board is concerned, Codes Department's issue is the lack of a permit for this addition. But as far as construction, we don't have any issues with it structurally or those type issues. It's just the coverage.
I don't want to speak out of turn, because we haven't had a permit, so we haven't done really the initial inspection. You know, once we get your permit, that's when we're gonna call in and we're gonna do our inspections. We haven't done a thorough inspection, so I don't want to say whether it's structurally sound or not at this point.
Fair enough on that.
I have a question for the applicant. This is a very unfortunate situation to have done the work that y'all have done and find that it's not permitted. But this has happened, been done twice before.
Yeah, the garage, the sunroom.
Yes.
And the new addition.
So it's been twice before that y'all gotten a building permit
Mhm.
and done it.
Mhm.
So it's unfortunate that on the third time, we didn't
Yeah.
get this. Who is the builder? Because most builders will want to see a permit before they will do any work.
من الشخص اللي بنى؟
بجيب ناس انا بشوفهم بيشتغلوا يعني ناس mutual degrees without,
So he doesn't do like a contract.
Okay,
with
he
someone.
does it himself and
Yes,
contracts it.
He finds people, yeah.
Okay. Do you require a construction permit, licensed contractor for residential construction?
The homeowner could pull their own permit
Okay,
if it's their primary residence.
yeah,
And then at that point, you would have to have licensed subs,
yes,
Do the
the
work.
plumber and electrician.
possibly, yeah.
Okay.
So, if you don't mind, Joe, I'd like to again go, kind of throw it back to you. So, I know the board's heard this, you know, I don't wanna leave you guys out there, but if you can kind of explain again, maybe the ruling or the decision that we're making here.
Sure. I think first for the record, I would like to make sure the applicant is not disputing the fact that no permit was received for this project. And as I mentioned earlier, unfortunately, this board can really decide that issue. Was the notice to demo properly issued? It was issued because this construction was not permitted by the city. And that's really the only issue to rule on here. As I said, you do have the option and we can take a break if the appellant needs a minute to discuss. You can leave it open for them to go after the variance if you wish to go that route. And that I believe is what's before the board here today.
If a stay is issued, the stay would need to stay 90 days or?
You could give them a time period to to apply. I would suggest 15 days, because that is what is in the zoning ordinance for Board of Zoning Appeals. You have 15 days to appeal determinations or decisions.
To apply.
Yes, correct. And so I believe that would be appropriate here to give them 15 days to apply if they so choose.
If they apply within the 15 days, how long before it gets on the calendar and the BZA is scheduled? Because we're getting into the Christmas holidays.
It would be, the BZA meets today for this month, so it would be next month in January, toward the end of the month.
So we skip December?
I'm sorry, it's December, yeah, December.
Yeah, I think the deadline's Monday for December.
Okay, so if they exhausted the 15 days, it could be possibly in January.
And if they don't appeal within 15 days, the demo order would still be in effect.
What do they need to appeal? Is it possible, how cumbersome is it for them to put together an appeal?
It's not very cumbersome. There's a form they would fill out.
You gotta state your hardships. And, okay.
It's for somebody else to decide.
Right.
All right. I'm good if everybody else is. I'll make a motion that we keep the order in place, but stay it to the 15 days. Is that working days or calendar days?
I make it working days there on the side of
Okay.
caution.
It was like 15 working days, so you can appeal to the BZA, because they're really the ones that'll make the decision.
Have a motion.
Second.
Motion second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. You have 15 days to make your appeal to the BZA. Hope that works out for you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next on our agenda, Kevin, any staff reports?
I don't believe so. We're still chugging along. We've added another property maintenance inspector. So we have 4 property maintenance inspectors now. We've probably bolstered staff. We've probably added 1 or 2 staff members in the past year. So everything's going good over there. We're still looking at going to CityWorks, which is a new software that building codes will be using for permitting as well as our inspections. It will hopefully go through DigiPlan, so
All right.
online submittal,
Yeah,
no paper
man,
submittal.
you're coming out of the
Very
dark
nice.
ages, Kevin.
We can do paper still for Mike. I was just messing with you. But, so hopefully we're moving forward. I'm, excited with the changes coming up here, and hopefully the next quarter, we're looking at kind of rolling that out. So, we'll be reaching out to you guys, for help on that, so.
Will planning be using the same software?
The whole city will be,
Whole city.
so the whole city is gonna go to that.
Everybody rolling it out in the next quarter or just codes?
Probably just codes, and then as everybody gets pieces
So
of the
you're the
pie
guinea
together.
pig. Congratulations.
Yeah, so we've actually been using it for doing our property maintenance inspections with it.
Yeah.
So we'll keep track. We've been using it for a few years, but, you have to build every single thing out yourself. So you have to put your whole process into it.
Yeah.
So that's cumbersome and time
Yeah.
consuming right now, but I think we're getting close. So as far as building and codes, that's kind of what we got going on right now. Again, I appreciate y'all making it. I know before Thanksgiving, it's kind of tough, but appreciate y'all's service to the board, and I hope you guys have a good Thanksgiving.
You guys too.
If we do it this week next time, need turkey and dressing.
We'll do it. We'll do it. We'll do it. If we get something, we'll Cracker Barrel it up for you guys.
I'll be tired of leftover turkey for after a week from today.
But you're not today.
Not today. Looking forward to it.
We'll go back to bell pepper stuff with tomatoes, whatever we used to eat.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
All right, Mike, if you want to dismiss us.
We are dismissed.